My name is Emily. I am 20 years old. I lived in the city for my studies, far away from my small hometown. I had spent almost a year there when my college finally gave me a long holiday. I packed my bags and decided to return home. The train moved slowly through endless green fields, but I didn't mind. I felt excited. My mother had called many times that day, asking where the train had reached. Her voice sounded cheerful, almost too cheerful. She said she was waiting for me. When the train finally stopped, I stepped out, took a taxi, and headed home. It was evening. My mother opened the door before I even knocked. She hugged me very tightly, her eyes wet with tears. "My dear Emily, you are home," she whispered. "Before we continue, I want to ask you something. If this story touches your heart, please subscribe, share, and leave a comment telling me where you are listening from. Your support means a lot to me. Now, let's continue." After reaching home, I asked my mother for a glass of water. She didn't get up. She simply smiled strangely and said, "Your water is coming." A moment later, a young man walked in, holding a glass. His hands were shaking slightly. "Here, please," he said gently. He was tall, slim, with dark hair and blue eyes. He looked around 22. I thanked him, but my mother's face lit up with pride. "This is John," she said. "He will stay with us for some time." "Stay with us?" I asked, surprised. My mother nodded. "John lost his parents last week. He has no home. I decided to help him." My heart softened. I told him I was sorry for his loss. He only gave a shy smile. At dinner, my mother asked him to join us. He ate quietly. I wanted to ask him many things, but I didn't want to hurt him. Later, he helped me clean the dishes. When our eyes met, something warm passed between us. Something I couldn't explain. The next morning, John was helping my mother in the kitchen. In the daylight, he looked different, gentler, brighter. When we sat for breakfast, I invited him to sit beside me. Up close, I noticed something strange. His eyes were the exact same color as mine. Later, my mother asked me to go to the market with him. I didn't expect it, but we walked together. At first, it was silent. Slowly, we started talking. He told me about his life, his town, his loneliness. I shared stories about my studies and city friends. We bought groceries, wandered through the shops, and even stopped for tea. Sitting outside, talking, laughing. It felt easy, natural. When we returned home, my mother wasn't angry that we were late. Instead, she smiled, too happily. The next few days, she kept sending us out together, to the market, to buy vegetables, to the park. Slowly, I started liking these moments. John opened up. He teased me sometimes. I felt free with him. One evening, under the moonlight, our eyes met and stayed locked. My heart beat loudly. He whispered, "Your eyes look like mine." I blushed and looked away, but inside, I knew it. I liked him. One day we were planting flowers. Our hands touched. He laughed. I laughed. My mother watched us and smiled, saying, "You two look good together." But a few days later, everything changed. My mother's smile disappeared. Her face became serious. She stopped sending us out together. She told John to stay away when I went to the market. Confused and hurt, I asked her why. Her words broke me. "Emily, you must not think of John like that." "But why?" I asked. "Because it is not right," she said firmly. That night, I cried. I respected my mother, but I also cared deeply for John. Days passed. I avoided him. He noticed. "Emily, did I do something wrong?" he asked softly. I shook my head, but I couldn't tell him the truth. One evening, he came to my room. His voice trembled. "Emily, do you feel what I feel? Because I think of you all the time." My heart almost stopped. Tears filled my eyes. "Yes, I like you too," I whispered. He held my hand gently, but my mother's voice called from outside, and we separated quickly. Things became worse. My mother brought a guest, a pretty girl named Mary, and tried to introduce her to John. My heart cracked. I shouted at my mother later, "Why are you doing this? Why do you want him with someone else? You know I like him." She only cried and said nothing. Days went by. My mother became weaker. The doctor said she must rest. I felt guilty. Was I the reason? One night, John and I met secretly in the garden. I told him I loved him. He said he loved me too. We hugged in the dark, both happy and scared, but fate had other plans. One morning, when I returned from the market, I saw people gathered outside my home. My heart dropped. I ran inside. My mother was gone. I cried for hours. My world broke into pieces. After the funeral, the house felt like a grave. One evening, I went into my mother's room. I opened a drawer and found a small box. Inside was a folded paper. My hands shook as I opened it. My dear Emily, forgive me. I loved John not as a son-in-law, but as a son. He is your brother. You are not my real daughter. I adopted you when you were a baby. John was born from my own blood. That is why you cannot love him as a man. I wanted you to treat him as a brother. Please do not hate me. I hid the truth to protect you. I will love you forever. The paper slipped from my fingers. Brother. My first love was my brother. My heart screamed silently. Tears poured endlessly. John came in and read the letter. His face went pale. We cannot be together, Emily, he whispered. I cried, why? Why did life do this to us? We must accept it, he said. I will leave. You must live your life. I will always care for you. As a brother. The words stabbed my heart. He left. Weeks passed. I stayed alone with memories. His smile, his voice, his eyes. I wanted to forget, but I couldn't. Now, at 20, I have lost everything. My mother, my first love, my dreams. But I learned something. Love is not always soft. Sometimes love is painful. Sometimes truth hurts more than lies. Yet I keep moving forward. I study, I live, I breathe. I carry the memory of a mother who loved me even if I wasn't her own. And I carry the memory of John, my first love, my brother, my forever secret. This is my story. A story of first love, loss, and a truth that changed my life forever.